It's day 5, and today's been pretty solid so far. I hope it's been pretty solid for you. I want to make a really quick video. If there's anything else I feel like talking about, I might make a part 2 to this. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I don't think I have a whole lot to share in terms of, like, what's been happening with me. Nothing too new has been going on, so what I have noticed, though, and I think this is in the practice I'll talk about. What I have noticed is I've been able to be more, during this detox, I've been able to see into myself more because I've had less stimuli taking my attention, and I've been able to face death more, and what I mean by that is I don't have anything to fall back on, so I don't have any, I don't have any media to absorb instead of face reality or my reality, or any substances or whatever, and that is awesome. That's great. So through doing that, I'm able to see myself a lot more and understand who I really am, which has been really cool. That's been really awesome, and I'm a huge fan of that. So I just think that's super interesting. A lot of who we are is hidden because of distractions. Yeah. It's really interesting. Like, I understand who I am in a more primal sense. In a more, like, that who I am in baseline. Essentially, I'm getting closer to understanding who I would be if I was born in the woods and didn't know anybody and didn't, ever encounter civilization, right? Like, me with zero external influence. It's pretty interesting. But that's kind of more of who I want to become. It's how you become purposeful, is do the thing you were born to do, right? It's pretty cool. So that's been really neat to see into. But my practice for today has to do with... I got it. It's all about your morning. Okay, I'm back. I got distracted. Morning routines. This is your my tip or the practice for today. That glare is really weird. Let's face this way. Okay. So, morning routines. The morning is the most important part of our day because it's how we set ourselves up for success. And this is how we instill habits. And in order to have good habits and to be successful, we need to create an identity of success, and of good habits. So if you want to, what's an example? If you want to lose weight, you have to change your self-perception and your identity into an athlete, essentially, someone who takes care of their body and who respects themselves in that sense and takes care of themselves, who loves themselves and eats well and exercises regularly. Okay? You can't still see yourself as an unhealthy and out of shape person. You can. You will, unless you do the actions that allow you to become that new person. And then you can see yourself as that new person. Okay? Does that make sense? So if you want to, become a master of NoFap, you can't just become a master of NoFap. You have to do other practices that will help you feel like the monk that you want to be. Like, you want to feel like that guy. And you have to do other actions to become that guy. Okay? So, with that being said, there's a lot of good ways you can start off your day. And I'm going to give you some examples to just some options. They're not the only options, but here's some ideas that you can choose from. And I'll let you, ponder what you'd like to do. In the past, I've done morning exercises, whether it was push-ups, crunches, or the roller, or things of that nature. It's not just necessarily for gains. It's strictly for discipline. But it does help. It's a really good habit to have. I don't do it anymore because my mornings are too packed. So there's that. It's loud out there. But aside from that, it is chaotic in my hallway. Okay. Cold showers are the next one I want to talk about. I made a video about cold showers over a month ago. And that, for me, if you ask me, it's one of the greatest identity building practices. Because you see yourself as a very strong and committed and stoic person in order, by putting yourself through cold exposure. That's a very challenging thing to do. And doing that every morning, it really builds a sense of character and a sense of self where you're like, yeah, I'm that guy. As I hear a lot of nincompoops say now, I'm him. So, yeah, I think that one's a really important one. I would recommend that one because it's very, like, it's a quick one, but it really does help. If you are further along in your self-improvement, I suggest you do what I do and stack a bunch of these. I do most of what I'm going to tell you about in my own morning routine, okay? After cold showers, there is yoga. Yoga is awesome. Yoga would be a great thing to help you become more in tune with your body and your mind and sync yourself together. There's a lot of different systems throughout the body, whether it's physical or like mental or spiritual, and kind of syncing them together and connecting them is awesome and very crucial. So I suggest you do that too. Yeah, yoga would be great to do first thing in the morning. Good way to start your day. Okay. Meditation, obviously. Being able to, from the start of the day, kind of understand your relationship with your thoughts is awesome. And it's very helpful too. And again, doing all these things daily will just help you build a sense of self-love and self-respect. Because in order to start self-improvement, you can't like yourself. You know what I mean? You don't like yourself because you're trying to change. Duh. So that's why we're doing all this. Is you're trying to start new habits because you're trying to become a new person. Okay, a better person. And previous you didn't do these things, so that's where I'm going with this. After that, there's, for those those who are religious or exploring their spiritual side, which if you're on self-improvement, definitely should give a lot of emphasis on, because at the end of the day, the games don't matter if like you don't again love the person you are, or aren't at peace with yourself, or just aren't at peace, period. And that's what the whole spiritual side of life is. Okay, it's trying to be happy, right? There's no point in living if you're not happy. I should take that back. There's no point in living if you aren't fulfilled and like satisfied with the life you're living. Does that make sense? Bad things will happen to you and you can't always be happy, but that sounds better. Okay. So reading scripture first thing like in the morning is also a super good practice, and I do this. It's just the time that I can ensure that I'm home. And yeah, that's always nice. Yeah. Doing all these things in the morning helps you build a better sense of like a better identity, because you go on through the rest of the day knowing that you have already done all these awesome things. You know what I mean? That's nice. I get to school, and by the time I get to my first class, I've meditated. I've done my breathing exercise that I talked about, I think yesterday or the day before. I've taken a cold shower. I've read scripture. I've gone to the gym. And I'm fasted. And that's all by 8 o'clock. I've done all that. It's pretty cool. Oh, and I've gratitude journal too. There's that too. Journaling. Aha. Journal. So, build your morning routine. There's a quote. I should have it saved somewhere. Do you want me to read it to you? I will read it to you. The quote goes... Let me find it. It is on my cellular phone. Okay. It goes something like... I'm so close. Come on. Bro, please. I need the quote. Days are made of mornings. Lives are made of days. Win the morning, win at life. That's the quote. Okay. A lot of work. Yeah. So win the morning, win at life. Get a streak, like a good streak going. Get some good momentum rolling first thing in the morning, because throughout the rest of the day when you're tempted to do other things and you're conscious of what you've done that morning, you're like, man, no, today's already been good. Like I can't ruin it. So it's pretty helpful for sure. I also want to mention there are like different kinds of journaling. There's gratitude journaling, which I've talked about before. There's journaling at like the end of the day where you kind of recount the events of the day, which is really good for your brain. and like filing memory and storage and stuff like that. So that's always helpful. Then there's like the Scholay type of journaling where you just write. You write what's on your mind. I think that'd actually be super helpful before sleep. So you don't have to do that while you're in bed. You can do it on paper. Be very nice. Your brain wants to just file stuff and think and contemplate, and sometimes you need to actually let it do it instead of every single night tell it to stop. Like maybe once in a while, like actually let your brain do what it wants to do. Other than that, your brain's actually not that helpful sometimes. That's why we're on self-improvement. We're just trying to like unwire our brains from messing us over. So, okay. Ah, that dog. Can you hear that? I wonder if you can. You probably can. I'm done with you for today. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to tell me about, go ahead, comment down below. Okay, that's it. That's all I have for you. You have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow on day 6. We're almost there. Stay strong. Adios.